want to expose the patents. So we want to teach people how to make these, instead of keeping the best practices to ourselves, we want to develop the best practice, patent it, and then stop any drug company from doing what Prairie Plant Systems has already done to growing cannabis. So we want to go through, systematically, product by product, and protect the intellectual property that we've already earned by developing and using these products. So we've already kind of got a copyright, you could say. We just haven't gone and had a patented process with the standard operating procedures. Essentially, like each drug in Health Canada's got what they call a master drug file, right? And so there's a big one on cannabis, right, and other drugs, but cannabis resin's a bit of an open door. In fact, I'm waiting actually for a Freedom of Information Act request. I was hoping to get it by today, but I don't, so I know exactly what Health Canada knows about cannabis resin. But I think they're totally ignorant. So there's like this huge opportunity for us to do research. So our drug company will be patenting and developing the drugs, or sorry, the products that we sell at our club and teaching other people to do it. Our club sells them at cost anyway. It's not like we're really making money. We're making money selling cannabis. The food and skin products, the cookies actually are below cost. They make more money than, or take more in labor and the food we put in them than actually earn. So we're just trying to get people to eat cannabis by selling them at lower than cost. And then they get sick of eating big cookies and want to try the other products. So, it's kind of this like lost leader in a sense, but it's been very good because often people will eat a cookie first in a way as a feel-good medicine even. So, so the Research Foundation will be much broader than that. And the two are going to kind of work hand in hand, but really the Research Foundation is a much bigger group. And so the Research Foundation will be doing a broad range of things, looking at the studies that are already out there, kind of trying, as I said, to decipher what is happening and condense it and report upon it. But also we want to use the Buyers Club in particular as a database essentially for the research community. We've got 2,300 sick people. We've got hundreds of people with AIDS. I bet we've got 200 people with MS. We've got probably 500-600 people that have broken their back. Maybe I'm a bit exaggerating on that one, but arthritis, I'd probably have 400 or 500 people with that one, maybe 200 with broken backs. Anyway, we've got a huge pool of people that are using cannabis products for both a wide range of conditions and using a wide range of products, not just the edibles, but that's what we want to focus on. So we want to be able to open ourselves up to everybody else in the world doing research. This will be done in part because we will be incorporating these two bodies. They'll both require essentially like international panels of experts to be on the board of directors. So we're going to be working to find people that will be willing to help us. There's a few over in Vancouver that I know for sure I want to be involved, but we're going to be, to a point taking our time, but on the other hand, we're busting a move here too. It's kind of like exploring space. It's very exciting. So we'll also have a board of directors, obviously, for the pharmaceutical company. I think the foundation will be legally incorporated first. It's hard to say. It's kind of still forming in my head. And next week, actually, at our annual general meeting for the society, actually election night is our AGM. We called it first. Yeah, we're having our AGM next Tuesday night, and at that point I want to form a committee that will be hiring and developing the research project and drug company. So it really, as much as possible, I want to make this into a group effort, but obviously a lot of it is coming from my head. So yeah, I'll have these international panel of experts helping us, develop things, and then there'll be the work towards trying to change the laws with Health Canada and have specific research being done by us. And just to give you an idea of some of the directions that will be going, for example, these Ryanol capsules, right? These are essentially, this is I firmly believe, one of the best, simplest medicine products that we make that could be easily duplicated and should be. It's a crime that this is not being taught elsewhere. So the way that we're going to start doing the research, even to break the door, right? Because there's one thing to be doing research on cannabis, but the source of the cannabis is really critical to the government, right? Like, there's a huge thing I got on the requirements for cultivating cannabis for scientific purposes. It is something that is achievable. We will be working towards that. I've got a couple of growers that are really keen on being, the first legal researcher on this subject, but it won't be easy to convince the government that there's a need for cannabis aside from prairie plant systems to study. So we're going to be, taking a few routes to do that. But to start with, we're going to make these rhinol capsules right out of prairie plant systems cannabis itself. We can also legally acquire hemp, and so we have two legally available forms of cannabis that we can make rhinol out of. Then obviously we can make a placebo, and then we can use the product that we make at the Buyers Club as a comparison to these other products, right? So we can have all sorts of double-blind studies and things like that, which is really critical to be able to have a proper placebo. Because one of the real problems with cannabis research in terms of its smoke form is there's nothing that you can give to people that would fool them into thinking that they're smoking something other than cannabis, right? The effects are pretty obvious. If you smoke something that isn't cannabis, you're not going to get high. If you smoke something that is, the effects are really high. The taste and other things, for anyone who's smoked it before, it's quite distinguishable. Placebos don't work very well. And so, when it comes to the smoked form, really we're not going to be studying it very much. As I said, we're primarily going to be studying it as an edible and as a skin product, because it's very beneficial as a skin product, anti-inflammatory, muscle relaxing effects and such, anti-inflammatory effects, antibiotic effects. I don't mention that enough, but there's all sorts of research out as well about the antibiotic effects of cannabis. So there'd be a number of applications for the skin that we would be trying to work with as well. There is a large research community basically readily available to us. UBC and their nursing school is constantly doing research on this subject and others. Even here at UVic, we have a Center for Research Addictions. No, that's not what it's called. Center for Addictions, I think is what it's called. Yeah. I should know that though. But anyway, there's a lot of research being done on this subject, and certainly a lot of interest, but I think the direction of the research has been questioned. And so and this is why, we've felt like there's this real, gap that we plan upon moving into. And in order to help facilitate this, as I said, we're hiring a research coordinator. I'll explain a little bit about that, because this whole Foundation Drug Company is an evolutionary process. But the stage we're at right now is, 1 month away, November 15th. We will be accepting resumes for the position. By Saturday, I'm hoping to have out a new newsletter for Cannabis Digest that will explain a lot more of these things. But nevertheless, November 15th until December the 1st, we will be accepting resumes. So there's a 2-week period. And then we'll be doing interviews for 2 weeks. By December the 15th, we will announce who we're hiring. January 1st is their first day on the job. Their position is going to be paid for through legal means as much as possible. We will be having various fundraisers to help raise money for the wages of this person. The kickoff, November 15th, is International Medical Marijuana Day, and so that's all the money we use from this year's art auction is going to go towards the person's wages. In early January, mid-January, I should say, we're going to have a film festival here on campus, so we hope to raise a number of donations and continue on that vein. But also we have a whole bunch of hempology kind of paraphernalia that will be soon available, probably really gearing up towards November 15th. But we hope to pay for this position, again, through selling different buttons and stickers as much as possible.